Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for April 1, 2022, the April Fool's Edition. And we begin with the story of the ZTE whistleblower who has written a book about his experience. That whistleblower was Ashley Yablon, who was the general counsel at ZTE America when he came upon a massive corruption scheme at ZTE to sell into Iran. And after a period of reflection, he decided that he had to report this. The story comes to us from CCI, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, and it's in an upcoming book, Standing Up to China, How a Whistleblower Risked Everything for His Country. So this is going to be a pretty big book when it comes out. I hope you'll check it out. Next up, from the Insider, also a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, the SEC threatens to delist the Chinese search giant Baidu because they haven't given U.S. authorities access to their books. This could portend a mass delisting going forward. So the SEC sounds like it finally may be getting serious on this. Once again, another first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, Aeon, who wrote a very lengthy article, some 3,300 words, about the global scourge of corruption. And the article's thesis is that corruption is truly a global crisis and that the wealth addiction it feeds is hiding in plain sight. So once again, a significant work on international global corruption and something that every compliance professional really needs to take a look at and be cognizant of. And our final story today comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Dylan Tokar, who reports that the MarshMac UK subsidiary, Jardine Lloyd Thompson Holdings Group, has received a declination with disgorgement from the Department of Justice. This means that although an FCPA violation occurred, because the company met the requirements under the Department of Justice SCPA guidelines for reporting, that it received a declination. The disgorgement amount was $29 million. So another win for the declination and disgorgement program from the Department of Justice, and congratulations to MarshMac for receiving this. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.